Notice just how you're breathing, how the body's doing it right now, without doing anything to change it. Although sometimes when we notice that it changes a little. But just for a few moments, scan the body, appreciation for everything as it is. You do it with the breath. Lengthen the breath. Come to a kind of 6-6 rhythm. Roughly 6 inhales, roughly 6 exhales. Doesn't have to be precise. With your shoulders, inhale, exhale, move the shoulders, free up the shoulder blades. Hands out to the side. You can put the hands pointing backwards. You can have the hands pointing forwards. Any of those 3 options, whatever feels right for you. I like having mine pointing forwards today. I do it differently on different days. And then roll the shoulder blades. Simply drop the spine all the way backwards. So letting the spine hang backwards into the cradle of the shoulders. Yeah. Planting the feet, spreading the toes open here. Wiggle the spine again. And just breathe and move, lifting and rolling the shoulder blades. So getting the arms straightened, rolling back into this feeling. Engaging through the shoulders. So it's a kind of pushing of the arms, shoulder blades down in this position, rolling back, shoulder blades lifting slightly, and finding the spine dropping back into this hammock of the arms here. Just a couple more times. Movement with breath, breath with movement. Roll the shoulder blades down the spine, push the knees forwards, lift up into tabletop. And 4 or 5 breaths. See if you can keep the breath long and steady. Take one leg up into the air. And change over whenever you want. The other one up. Gently release down. Come back to the ground. Cross the feet at the ankles. Bring the hands forwards. Now we're going to push the shoulder blades back, push the spine backwards, and open up muscles between the shoulder blades, the rhomboids particularly. So we're going to take a breath in here into the chest, and breathe out, and push the hands forward and the shoulder blades backwards. Breath in, open up, bring the shoulder blades down the spine. Exhale, push the hands forwards. Inhale, bring the hands behind the back. Reach back with the hands. Inhale, open the chest up, and exhale, push the hands down and back. So opening up pec minor, pectoral major. And exhale. So these muscles at the top here, pec minor that comes off the top of the scapula here and joins onto the ribs. Pec major, which comes up onto the arm. These muscles here, which can limit breathing otherwise, opening up the rhomboids around the back as well, so getting more mobilization movement. So do that one more time. First of all, bringing the hands forward, interlocking the hands, pushing the hands away. You can do it either way, in fact. Okay. So that's an exhale. Inhale, breathe the chest open, pull the shoulder blades back and down, so mobilizing the shoulder blades. Exhale. And then hands around behind the back, interlock the hands. Inhale into the chest. Exhale, push the palms kind of back, up, slightly down, reaching back as far as you can. And opening up the chest. Inhale. And hold the breath here. Just pull those shoulders back and down, around behind the spine. So bring the shoulder blades towards each other. Reach back in the arms. So opening up the front and the back of the body respectively. From here, take hold of the outside edges of the feet. Roll up onto the shoulders. Inhale, up onto the sit bones, keep the feet off the floor. So we're going to keep the feet off the floor. Exhale, onto the shoulders. Keep the head relaxed on the ground, so no pressure in the neck. Up and forwards a few times. Nice easy movement, cross the feet the other way. 3 times the other way. Lie down on spine. Bring the feet touching each other. Lengthen, lift the head up to start with, just so you can get the neck very long and the upper spine long. And then lengthen the head down. Wrap around the legs and squeeze the legs into the ground here. So you're going to aim to bring the knees towards the floor. And then get as full a breath as you can into the belly and into the chest, squeezing the knees on the outside here. So we're going to come into this strong hip flexion. About a 6-second inhale, 6-second exhale. Bring the arms over the head, reach the palms behind you. Bring the knees up, inhale, 6 seconds. Knees to the head. Keep the hands off the floor. And see if you can pulse slowly down. Find 6 positions on the way down. Pulse into each position. I'm finding much more than 6. I'm doing about 12, I think, actually, all the way down. So we're going to use this movement of pulsing up and down the spine to mobilize into the intervertebral spaces, multifidi, the tiny muscles. So coming down to the point where the pelvis isn't quite on the floor, just holding it there and then coming back up again, pulsing all the way up. Shoulders and arms are just off the floor. So using the activity of the arms to help stabilize. Then it's one long inhale, one long exhale. And last time down. Roll the arms out to the sides, straighten one leg up, the top leg touches the palm on the opposite side. Inhale up, exhale. It's dynamic, beautiful dynamic twist. Now what I find when I do this is that my inhale is in the center here, and then I do an exhale which gives me the reach to one side and then over to the other side as well. So the length of the exhale is a double touch, it's a double tap. I don't know if that'll work for you, but try it. Wrap the left leg over the top of the right. Wrap around the ankles if you can. We're going to take these thighs down to the side. So the legs are going to go down towards the right hand side. So left leg on top, drop to the right. Keep this left shoulder blade on the floor. Keep that radically rooted. And you can stroke along the side of the body. Come in, stroke, say hello to the body. Yeah, come into the obliques here. Quadratus lumborum, the tissues on the side. Stroke down the lateral line of the leg, the TFL, tensor fasciolata down here. just opening up through this myofascial spiral line. And using your hand to stroke along from the shoulder, all the way from the armpit up here, all the way down and through into the knee as you breathe. And see if you can keep that good steady rhythm of about 4-4-6-6 breath in the twist. And now add in an inhale, hold, and an exhale, hold. So doing like a box breath here. And release. Wrap the other way. Actually, I'll tell you what, it might be nice. Let's go to a squeeze in the center. Let's go to a neutral position, a neurally neutral position. So come out and squeeze. So we're not carrying from one side to the other. So just squeeze and lengthen the spine again. And then wrap. It's kind of nice to go into those neural neutrals. And wrap the other side when we're working asymmetrically like this. So we're going to come into the other side. We've got the wrap. Drop down and make sure this right shoulder blade stays really earthed. And again, we're going to do stroking. So from this shoulder blade, from this armpit here, all the way down the side of the body and along the lateral line of the leg, on the tensor fasciolata here, all the way along. TFL and the tendinous structures along the outside, all the way to the knee joint. Fascia love touch. It's nourishing, especially when we link it with the breath. And 6-6 rhythm. Find any movement that your body wants to make. That might be micro movements available in here. So the stroking. And then add in the breath holds. And then from there, inhale, come back up to center. Release the spine. Take the legs again, open the legs wide. Lift the head up. Lengthen the spine. Lengthen the spine back down, bringing the back of the head down last. A few breaths here. Now in a moment or two, we're going to roll as rapidly as possible onto the side and from the side up onto hands and knees. You might find it more useful to do this on an exhalation. So when you're ready, just rock from side to side a little bit. And exhale. A little bit of contralateral crawling. That's just backwards and forwards. Contralateral means that we're moving one knee and the opposite hand. It's kind of classic way that we mammals move. Coming into this childhood type position. Did you know that one of the recommendations on certain protocols for people who have strokes, after they've had a stroke, is to come back to crawling, because it's repatterning of primitive movement, early years movement, is a profound way of rebuilding the nervous system. There you go. And from here, just wiggle your bum from side to side, plant your hands a good shoulder width apart, squeeze the elbows in, rock the chest forward, exhale down towards the ground of the chest. Pulse here. Come as far forwards as you can, keep the toes backwards and forwards gently. And about 3 pulses in 3 positions. So it's right back with the head back, shoulders over the palms and shoulders in front of the palms. The shoulders in front of the palms, shoulders over the palms, shoulders behind the palms. Pulsing about 3 times in each of those, up and down gently. In conjunction with the breath. Drop down into the ground. Bring the arms forwards. Shake the head and jaw. Release. Roll the shoulder blades. Check everything's free and mobile. Upper trap is switched off. Bring the tips on the ground. Inhale, lift the sternum. And lift the back of the head. Three or 4 breaths here. Lift your chest as much as you can. And now squeeze your butt cheeks. Squeeze your butt cheeks and feel the closure of the sacroiliac joints. You press your top of your feet or your toes, depending how your feet are engaging with the ground. Either way is good. But squeeze your butt cheeks really hard. And then come up with the elbows, come up off the elbows, just on the fingertips. Squeeze the butt cheeks. And just pulse here for a moment or two, as long as it feels good. And release the elbows down. Relax the butt cheeks. Shake them out, loosen them out. And again, squeeze the butt cheeks. Up on the elbows. Pulse and breathe here. And release down. Relax the butt cheeks. So feel the glutes, the extensors come in. So just practice the extensors again. See how much you can squeeze them. Just feel that squeeze. Great. So we're going to prep by lifting the heart first, come into the spinal extension first, and then squeeze the butt cheeks, and then continue to squeeze them as you lift up. And breathe. And lower slowly down. Relax the butt cheeks. Floppy shaking. Great. One more time. Again, we're going to bring the heart up first. So we're going to come into the spinal extension first. Heart forward and up with the inhale. Feel that noticeable lift. Feel the extension in the lumbar spine. And then squeeze the butt cheeks and lift. Spend a few breaths here. And really slowly down when you're ready. Hands underneath your shoulders. Knees forwards. Push the chest back and forwards. Find those three positions. Shoulders behind the hands, shoulders over the hands, shoulders in front of the hands. And just pulse into them. And drop the head down as you lift up out of it. Drop the head down, back up onto hands and knees. Easy crawling. Easy crawling. Bring it back into that primitive movement. And from here, lift the bum up in the air, bend the knees. Open the shoulders wide. So rolling the shoulders outwards, putting the shoulder blades apart. Push the hands into the floor. Drop the head down, look down. Lift and spread the toes. Open the hips outwards. And take the heels towards the floor. If you can earth the heels down into the ground. Keep the toes gently lifted and the toe spaces open. Now lift the head up, look forwards. Press the hands into the ground, bend the elbows a little bit, and just bounce into the bent elbows. Keep the heels on the floor if you can. Straighten the arms, step the feet forward and lift them forwards. Just come into an easy squat. Bouncing into the end range of the squat, you can hang out here. So closing the front of the ankles here. Spread the toes again. From here, straight up into standing. Hang forwards. Let the head and shoulders drop. Bounce the knees, so bouncing through the spine. Make some sound if you want to. Come on with the fingertips. Take the feet out. Nice and wide. You take them as wide as you can, given two things. One is you've got the four roots of the foot on the floor, by which I mean the big toe pad, little toe pad, outer heel and inner heel, and the medial arch lifting. So you've got the rootedness in the foot. And the second thing is you can keep the toe spaces open. And then you can work out, if you've got those roots working, just how wide you can take the feet. Now, the fingertips on the floor. And again here, and drop the head. Just bend and bounce into the knees. Straighten up as much as your legs will. Bend the knees, just bending and straightening. Bending and straightening here. Keep bending and straightening the legs, bending and straightening, really powering up on the lift. Straighten the legs as much as you can. And find a base, take your hands off the floor and stroke the legs. As you bend and straighten them, just stroking through the legs. Hands forwards, plant them down, palm down on the floor. Step one foot forward, the other foot forward. Come into sitting. Soles of the feet next to each other. Put your palms back behind your body for a moment or two. About 10-12 inches behind. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, squeeze the thighs down to the ground. Inhale, see how much you can lift the chest like we were doing on the floor. See how much you can lift the chest up. Keep the neck long. And exhale, squeeze those thighs into the ground. Another 4 or 5 breaths doing this. From there, we're going to see if you can open the heels up. So if you can open the heels up, and open the toes up. So you can play with opening, pulling the heels apart, and then pulling the toes apart. Pulling the heels apart, pulling the toes apart. Okay? So the intention is to be able to do this when we've got the earthing of this femoral tibial area, the thighs and the shins here. So we're going to earth down here, and then open the toes up, pull the heels apart. Open the toes up, pull the heels apart. Open the toes up, pull the heels apart. Let's get this kind of mobility. If you've got that capacity, then we're going to come up on the fingertips and lift the chest up over the thighs. So the same feeling we had with the extension before lifting the chest up. Lift the chest up, shoulder blades down, lengthen the back of the neck, and keep pressing down through the thighs. You can actively pulse into the floor here, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. If that all feels good, bring one hand forward onto the fingertips, keep both thighs pressing down as much as possible, and then the other hand forward on the fingertips, and keep the thighs pressing down. Bring the palms up, push the palms away, keep the thighs pressing down, push the shoulder blades apart. Bring the hands behind the back, interlock, keep the thighs pressing down, open the front of the chest. Bring the hands back. Keep the thighs pressing on the floor. You can take hold of the feet here, so you can have the hands on the feet. You can hook the fingers in between the big toe and the second toe. And so the thumb comes onto the kidney 1 point on the sole of the foot, and you can give yourself a little massage there if you want to. It's kind of nice to do that. Now, keeping those thighs pressed in the ground, keeping the feet steady. See if you can bring the chest forwards over the thighs. Make sure your knees feel good. And you're going to bring the chest forwards over those thighs. Just to ease forwards here. Wiggle into it. Make sure it feels good. And see how far you can comfortably come forward, keeping that groundedness down, down, down here through the knees and the thighs. The feet earthed into the ground. Feet good, strong on the floor. Really steady breath. And we're going to lift up out of it. Inhale, lift the heart. And reach forwards. Curl the spine, lift up out of it. Exhale out of it. Inhale. Lift the heart, curl forwards, best you can do. Curl the spine up out of it. Then sit up tall. Release the feet. Take hold of the outside edge of one foot. Take it straight up into the air, reaching up through here. And again, you can stroke your own leg. You can come up and just stroke into the back of the leg. Give it some massage here. Talk to the tissues here. Make sure they're happy. You can bend and you can straighten. You can play with this movement just gently. And the other side, cross over. Place this one down, reach up and open. And again, playing with the massage with the touch in here as well. See what you can find out about the back of the legs here, in the space here where the gastrocnemius tendons and the hamstring tendons cross. This beautiful popliteal fossa here. And up into the legs, into the hamstrings. And you can feel the distinction between the hamstrings and the adductors, the septal line here as it's called, between here. And you can come in, just get your hands in there. These are where, interestingly, the Chinese meridians run, and you're playing with this contact here. This is spleen, the spleen and stomach lines in Chinese medicine. Nourishing yin. And bring the feet together. Take both feet up into the air. And reach and breathe here. 6-6 breath. And bring the feet together. And see if you can bring the arms forward and take both legs up. Push the palms forward, close the back, keep the legs up. Keep the legs up. Bring the hands behind your back. Open them up. The hands forward up into space. Keep the legs up. Bring the feet together. Cross them, drop down. Rock forward onto your hands and knees. Roll and arch through the spine. Back into sitting. Spine. One heel into the groin. Now the leg extended out, reaching out. Stay active through the ball of the extended leg. So to keep this activity here, so the foot's not going to just collapse out. We're going to keep a little lift through the vertical line of the foot, reaching away through the ball of the foot. So that's an internal rotation in the femur, giving that spiral line through the leg. First of all, just play over this movement. Bring your body weight across both legs and see how it is to be in the sit bones here. Find how it is to be in the sit bones. And then lift your heart up, reach your heart up above the foot, aiming forwards above the foot. Pushing to sit bones, just reaching and then curling back. Reaching, lifting that heart, reaching and then curling backwards. Just like we were doing this sitting before, we'll come back into that in a minute. But lifting the heart up and then curling the spine back out of it. Another couple of times. And this time come over, lifting the heart up to wherever you can comfortably come. You can rest the hands on the floor, around the foot if they'll comfortably reach, wherever. You just drop and soften into this movement. hang out here and breathe. Inhale, curl up. Stroke the leg with your fingertips. Appreciation. Bring the soles of the feet together. Just touch them in towards each other. Take a couple of breaths with the soles of the feet touching. Reach out the other side. Left foot into the groin. Bring this foot upright. Reach out that spiral line, so we're going to internally rotate the femur and reach out through the ball of the foot to activate that spiral line through the leg here. And again, on the sit bones, just play with mobilization, any movement, any direction. Change directions, just play with the movement. What's possible for you in terms of mobility? Where can you move to? How far can you move in each direction? And correlate with that in some way with the breathing. It doesn't really matter how you do that. It'll be an inhale and exhale for sure. So you might find your exhale folding is most likely. Keeping this bent leg side beautifully earthed, keeping the sit bones earthed. Inhale, bring the chest up across the forward leg, so coming into a twist now, working towards this twist. Fingertips on the floor. And we're going to find this curl and release again, lifting the heart up over the foot, and then curling back out of it. And then drop forwards over the leg. You can bring the arms down to the floor. Keep that internal spiral line, just working in the leg. And now roll up. Once the feet at the ankles, come forward onto the elbows and the forearms. Just take the legs behind. Six breath here. Knees down. Stick your bum backwards. Keep your arms on the floor. Forehead down to the ground. Inhale, roll up. Back to cross-legged sitting. Extend the left leg. Now if you can here, we're going to wrap and hold the bent leg. So ideally, we're going to have the right leg up, have the right arm cradled around that knee, holding to the shin. And if you can reach it, then the left arm, the foot is going to sit into the inner elbow there, the elbow crease. And we're going to cradle this leg. Fingers, palms holding, wrists holding, fingers interlocked, some kind of engagement between the two hands. And just rocking the leg, like rocking a baby. And if that all feels good, we're going to lift the foot up. Now the foot is actively pressing into the elbow crease. So we've got that sort of internal spiral working on the foot again, just like we had in the extended leg position. So you're reaching into the elbow crease with the ball of the foot. Rocking the leg here. And then lift up on the sit bones. So the right sit bone is going to lift up, plant next to the left one. They're going to be facing forwards across the extended leg now. So you practice that movement just going back here into the position of rocking and then lifting that sit bone up and coming forwards. Lifting back and lifting forwards. Make sure your knee feels good. If everything feels good, see if you can tuck the heel into the belly here, and rest the top of the thigh on the crease between the thigh and the abdomen, between the thigh and the belly, right on the top there. Let the left leg collapse for a moment. It's going to rock outwards. And just check that this knee feels happy and on the floor here. If it's not on the floor, if it's lifting, get a pad or some blankets. I've got a blanket up there, but I'm not going to get it. But grab a blanket or something to put underneath the knee if it's not resting fully on the ground. You want some earth quality here. So if the knee isn't meeting the earth, lift the earth to meet the knee. Put something underneath it, in other words. Right? And then from there, bring this leg back up again. So we're going to re-engage that internal spiral line here that we switched on earlier. Again, just find any freedom of movement you can have here. Find where can you move here. You've got your sit bones, you've got this foundational state here at the back of the legs on the floor. Yeah. What's possible in terms of movement here? Where can you move to? And how do you move with the breath? How does your body respond to breath and movement here? The rotation I'm feeling here in the spine, for example, feels quite nice. Then lift the chest up. We're going to aim forward with the chest, heading towards this extended leg foot, and then curl backwards again. Inhale, lift this chest up, and exhale, curl back. So you find yourself as you lift the heart, you feel your body on the front of the sit bones, and you're curling forwards, and then releasing back and curling back onto the back of the sit bones. And again, feel the roll of the sit bones, literally, roll and roll. Yeah, R-O-L-L and R-O-L-E in this movement. And then bring the fingertips to the floor. Reach the heart forward towards the toes. And just let the head hang down. Take a few breaths here. Just resting into this position. Now come up. Stroke your leg. Extended leg. And the bent knee leg. Lift the leg back up, give it a hug, squeeze it in, appreciation. Change legs, squeeze them both up, double appreciation. Extend the other leg onto the ground, so the right leg now extending out, and we're going to wrap, cradle the left leg. So starting here, coming around the knee joint, cradling around the leg, holding the leg if possible, then we're going to come in underneath that foot, bind in here, hold, interlock the hands or the wrists, whether your body allows. Again, just find this rocking movement, this cradling movement. Then we're going to lift the sit bone forwards and backwards, just lift The left sit bone forwards and backwards to present this leg across the forward leg and back. Then if possible, lift the leg up. Hold it nice and tight, squeeze it in towards the chest. So lifting the foot up and then squeezing the whole unit in towards the chest gently, lifting the chest high. So it's still on the front of the sit bones. And take a breath or two. And it feels good. We're going to bring the heel down into the crease, just into pressing the heel into the lower belly, around the appendix area, and letting the foot, the outer edge of the foot, fall into the crease. Top of the leg, around the abdomen, this leg coming down to ground. This foot is dropping out at the moment, and then we're going to bring this foot back up again into the switching on that inner spiral line. So again, we can play with that movement, just dropping it out and lifting up, making sure that all these movements are accessible and available one by one, bit by bit. Reach out through the spiral line, feel the sit bones on the floor, check this is grounded, earth it if needed, and then find any mobilization. Where can the upper body move to on this base? What's possible with breath and movement here? Where does it feel good to move? And then lift the chest up, fingertips on the floor, curl back out of it. Inhale, bring the chest up to wherever it moves to, curl back out of it. It doesn't matter where it goes to. We're not doing anatomy part, touching anatomy part. We're just finding where it feels good, what's possible in movement, what's possible, what feels right. If none of this felt right in the first place, we can do the same thing back here. Remember, we've already done this. We can always revert to this. Not a problem. This is good in and of itself. So it depends on how your body is today, how your body is per se. Right. And hang forwards over it for a few breaths once you come to this. And then release, come up into neurological neutral. We're just going to cross the ankles, squeeze the chest up, sitting on the sit bones, still finding the roll of the sit bones here, cross the legs the other way, just sit up on the sit bones, perch up, lift up. Bring the feet up, take hold of the outside edges of the feet, and lift up into the sky here. Take a few breaths. And release down. Bring the soles of the feet down. I beg the edges of the feet down. Bring the edges of the feet down to the ground. Arms behind the back. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, squeeze the thighs into the ground. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, squeeze the thighs into the ground. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, squeeze the thighs into the ground. So I'm going to play with now. And see if it's possible to have one foot. So the angles are pretty much 90 degrees. The angle between the line of the foot and the shin. And this angle between the shin and the femur is about 45 degrees. So we've got a 45-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle here. And the shin here is perpendicular to my chest. If that all feels good, keep that foot in place. Step the back foot back, pin that foot down, And just gently hang out here. And again, find any comfort in just moving and being here. That's doable. Really reaching the top of the back foot into the ground. And bring the other foot forward. Check out, you can get this position comfortable on this side again. So that's a 90-degree angle here between the foot and the shin, and a roughly 45-degree angle here. We can lean into that leg, engage that into the floor, hand here, elbow here, leg the other foot back. So we're protecting the knee joint by stabilizing here. And rock into this position here, nice and easily. Breathe well. Inhale, come up out of it. Keep this foot in place. And see if you can bring the second foot on top of the first. And just wrap, squeeze, gently come forwards here. And the other way. The right foot, put it up right into the top of the groin. So the foot curls like a Moroccan slipper across the top of the thigh. So the toes are sticking out on the outside of the thigh. And this knee squeezes in slightly. So this knee is coming into the midline. If this knot is not accessible, just stay for a moment. Just stay sitting and support here. Don't go any further. And make sure it feels good. All right? If you've got that inward movement here, and if you can then bend this knee, very gently, easily lift this leg up. What we've got here is Lotus. So both toes, the feet are curling over the tops of the thighs. The ankles are relaxed, they're not pressing on each other, and both knees are on the ground. Feel the sit bones, curl forwards. Inhale, come back. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, curl forwards. Inhale, lift up and back. With one exhale, curl forwards. Inhale, come up. Exhale, curl forwards. Inhale, curl up. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, turn and gently pulse to the left. Give 4 breaths in. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, place the hand onto the knee, on the outer knee. Keep space in the armpit. Lift the heart. Place the fingertips behind. And just gently pulse in towards the right. Stay with the breath. Now come into a 6-6 breath in the belly. Full inhale, full exhale. At the end of the exhale, feel the pelvic floor lift. Just gently pulse the pelvic floor. This time come up into the lower 6 ribs as well with the inhale. Squeeze all the way out. This time come up into the upper chest like we did right at the beginning. Feel the movement into the chest lifting and the back of the chest opening as well. And the throat switching on and how that also engages the pelvic floor. Everything we did earlier comes back into play now. As you lift through the crown of the head, so you're going to get the crown of the head, so you're getting that extension from the base through the crown. The heart sits exactly 2/3 of the way up between the base and the crown. A few more full breaths. And breath out, breathe out. Empty out completely. Squeeze the breath out, lengthen the back of the neck, keep the head tall. Feel the elevation, the length, the space. Feel the cranium, feel the brow, feel the heart, feel the belly, feel the pelvic floor. Hold the breath out. Open up the diaphragm if you can into Dhyana Bandha. If not, it's fine just to hold the breath. Just hold the breath out. Whenever you need to breathe, relax. Come into the 6-6 breath. Relaxed inhale. Slow, relaxed inhale. 3 full deep breaths. And that's 1. And that's 2. And the third one. And that's the third breath. This time, take another inhale. Allow pulse the muscles open, pulse the external intercostal muscles. So you feel that expansion of the lungs. Hold the breath in the body. Drop the chin down towards the chest. Drop the palms down. Squeeze the pelvic floor up. Get that gentle inward squeeze around the legs and around the arms. Hold the breath, and it's gentle. It's very gentle. It's like massaging. It's like stroking your bones, except you're doing it with the inside of the muscles. Hold that breath. Bring your energy into the heart. And find that radical appreciation, radical acceptance of mortality, and radical appreciation of life in all its complexities. Radical appreciation, radical gratitude. Emanate that from the heart through this livingness, through this body. As you come into this appreciation, you're taking a huge step forward from the negativity bias into this radical appreciation, radical compassion. And then relax the breath hold. 3 more slow deep breaths. 6-6 rhythm, slightly longer. That's 1 breath. That's the 2nd breath. And that's the 3rd breath. Take your palms, put them down underneath your thighs. Inhale, lift up. 3 breaths. And that's 1 breath. It's 2 breaths. 3 breaths. Now down. Nice. The way I like out of this one, by the way, is just 'cause it's fun. Show you it. You can play with this, and then we're going to lie down for a little bit. It's simply to rock forwards. You can actually lift up out of it if you want to. If you wanted to lift, you can lift up out of it. Yeah. Put hands into place. Tuck the elbows inwards. And lift up onto the palms here. Reach up like an arm fold. Lie down. Some sound on the out breath a couple of times. And just let go for a couple of minutes. Let go of control of the breath. Let go of control of the body. When you want to, just bring your knees up and roll onto your side. Stay down as long as you want, as long as you can. Just rest if you want to. I'm going to close the session now. I just want to say thank you. That's all. Thank you very much. Travel easy. Enjoy the weave of space-time. Have fun. Enjoy.